Hello, everyone. I want to start off by welcoming Dave and all of the amazing students from Adam School to the TDU Facebook group. We are so excited to have you all, and I can't tell you how blown away I've been by all of your animation. When we first started working with Dave at this idea of this collaboration, I didn't dream that your guys' animation would be as cool as it is, and I've been trying to. I was even trying to free up my schedule to be able to get my hands on some of the work that you all have done, and because it's just phenomenal. I can't tell you how excited we are and to get rolling with this. And we want to start here with Vidat, who posted this image today, and I just wanted to kind of talk about it and give some of my ideas. That's how these video critiques work. As the TDU students know, this is kind of my favorite part of the process. It's early stage lighting iteration where we can talk about color and composition and getting the character to read and creating some shaping and creating all the mood that we want. So Vidat, I think you've done a great job of gathering up some reference here. This is from Frozen, and you've been able to identify some basic components of this that I think are really nice. Number one is just the overall color scheme we've been able to match up really well. And number two is, and I think Calabaza pointed this out, and because you were talking about not being able to get a sense of the overall lighting scene, and the biggest thing is this kind of gradient of light to dark from top down. My thought is that, looking at this shot, that this would indicate to me that there's a very large window in these grand ballroom type rooms that are in this home behind the camera, and it looks like an overcast day. This amount of gradation in the shadow, that it's this much, would indicate to me that it's a very soft source light. Not a, if it was a very sunny day, you would see just like a real hard line across there. That's not what we're seeing. We're seeing something very soft, which would indicate a very large light source, or basically overcast day, where the soft light's coming in the window, being diffused even more, and then spreading itself on the scene here. So it's the light's kind of shooting across, hitting the bottom here, and then we're just seeing it work its way up. So we're just seeing a very large shadow from a very large window from across the room. So what is that doing aesthetically to this shot? The first thing that it's kind of doing is, you'll notice that, if we're looking at where it's hitting on the wall, it's kind of darkening from here to here, but it's not really doing that to character. They've kind of opened it up around the character to allow this darker value to pop off. One of the things that you're also doing here that was done in the original shot was getting her warm tones to pop off, her warm skin tones and hair to pop off from the cool surroundings. So you'll notice that they strategically placed her warm tones over this green background. So that's the stuff that you've got going really well. And I think that, I think and to get to notes, I think one of the things that we could definitely do is use this gradient value to create some more directing of the viewer's eye to the character here. So to kind of mock that up, I just kind of created the idea of, you always think about a light off the screen here, and then shining light in this way. And I would just like it to kind of, this is a little bit literal and a little bit harsh. I'll lighten this up. But imagine the light coming in off the screen left, coming into the scene, and just kind of pulling itself around the character, allowing the area just behind her to get a little bit darker to allow her lighter tones to pop forward. I thought that would work really nice. And if you could think about, again, using the window as a framing mechanism. And then that would also create this kind of vertical gradation on the wall there. So something else I was noticing, and this is kind of true of both of them, but we're kind of missing just some darkening as we're getting to the corners of the room, almost like an ambient occlusion around the room. So I would just kind of, again, forgive my rough mock-ups here, but just something to kind of get a little bit of darkening around the edges, around the corners, and I would even just consider running an ambient occlusion pass there. Let's see, additionally, I think that the artists in Frozen were a little bit limited by the character being dressed up in this green shirt. And I don't think you necessarily need to be limited by that. So again, just looking at this with fresh eyes, and I wasn't, a party to the communication that the two of you had leading into this, but if it was me, I would maybe consider changing that to a warmer tone shirt to allow everything on her that's this kind of warmer color to pop off forward. Even that's a little bit cool. We can probably make that maybe a little bit. Oop, maybe we can make that a little bit more. That purple's kind of fun too. Just something that contrasts with the background to get it to pop forward a little bit. I thought that could be a little helpful. A couple other things is oh, I know. So one of the elements that I really like about the shadow area is that we're still getting some kind of like specularity in you see it especially in like these slits here. And it would be really nice to see that kind of specularity in the background there. And then, that's sorry. And then, oh, the other one that I really liked was, okay, so this isn't in the original, and now I'm just adding things. And again, this is fresh eyes, new perspective, thought it'd be helpful. I really like how wallpaper in a older home has a specularity to it. Has like a shininess to like this wallpaper would have a shininess to the gold and a shininess to the crests or the design in the middle of them. And I was thinking that since you already have this pattern, perhaps you could maybe make it black and white and make the white areas the gold and then the crest in the middle. And that way those areas would pick up a little specularity and can give you a little variation on this wall. And I thought that could be pretty cool. Just my 2 cents there. And then, oh, last but not least, I think that I know, again, very broad light, very soft light, cloudy, overcast day. But I think in this character, they're starting to get some, but I think we can get just a little bit more specularity in the skin. And maybe just like a little bit in the hair up through the key side, up on her screen left side. So that's something like up in these areas here, just like a little bit of specularity, just a touch. And that could be a spec-only light, a light that only emits specular values. Yeah, and so just to show a quick before and after, so taking from this to something like this. Just my suggestions. Thought you could, but I would love to hear others' ideas as well. Sometimes I'm way off base, but these are just the things that I saw today. So if you have any questions, post them in the comments down below, and I will be happy to take a look at them. All right, guys, happy lighting.